and the nominee, and then we can talk a little bit about what sort of struck us with all these nominations. Okay, so the first nominator is Sandra Kuna, and she has nominated her husband, Kuna, and we have a lovely letter from Sandra in regards to Ken's outstanding service. The next person nominator is a Madison, forgive me if I'm not saying this correct, but I want to say Madison Zolko, and she has nominated Warren Shaw. And I just want to tell people too, there's a form that the kids filled out and the nominators filled out, as well as a letter attached that will talk about why they think that person is important. Okay. The next one is Jenna Tyne, and she has been so gracious as to nominate her grandfather, Raymond Marvin. And we have Christian Ramos, and Christian has nominated Michael Buxton, our DPW director. Rebecca Duda, one of my co-authors of this process, has actually nominated Alexander Corcoran. And we know Alex from the Blanket Drive. Tyler Middlemas has nominated his aunt and uncle, Kate and Scott Middlemas. Rebecca Maley has nominated Colleen Gary. Julia Tellier has nominated Rebecca Duda. Jaden Monson has recommended Tony Yachinsky.
Thank you, Jaden.
Kelly Bisson has nominated Rebecca Duda. Megan Tyler has nominated Rebecca Duda.
What name is that?
That would be Rebecca Duda. The name of the nominator's name, Nathan Warman, has nominated his, I want to say, it must be a relative, it doesn't say in the letter, but he has nominated Noah Warman. Lindsay Miranda has recognized and nominated a woman named Betsy Samaras. Many of us might have known Betsy, actually. Calvin Susi has nominated Kate and Scott Middlemas. Alec Valise, I want to say, has nominated John Oganowski. Gabby Brown has nominated Mrs. Duda. I'm thinking Rebecca Duda. Jared O'Connell has nominated Rebecca Duda. Allison Soon has nominated Rebecca Duda. Liliana Jessico has nominated Rebecca Duda. And Sarah Bennett has recommended John Oganowski. Okay, so those names are all familiar to many of us, I'm sure. And so I will open up the discussion by sheer, if we were to do it by sheer number, I think Mrs. Duda will get the first award of her creation, but anyways, feel free to weigh in, folks.
Mrs. Duda is, I'll just start for discussion, but a lot of her students who wrote the letters, I mean, I was just reading one and I really like this one. The main reason Mrs. Duda deserves this award is because of her dedication. Ms. Duda has spent her week, day after school, every day helping students with whatever they were struggling with. I find that fascinating, this day and age, I really do.
A lot of her nominees came from our students, which I think is impressive because it shows the young kids getting involved, and I thought it was really nice. Their letters were very sweet.
Very sweet.
A lot of good names there.
Yeah, I'm sure. Yeah. Well, and I think people understood that this was really about service, and that was nice. I want to say I was really touched by Betsy Samaras' story. Who volunteered so many, right up until the time when she started driving in her 90s. Mm-hmm. So, and Betsy is still with us, which is wonderful. She's over at one of the residences, but Betsy was really continues to be a fascinating person. But this is her neighbor that wrote this. Lindsay was Betsy's neighbor, which is very sweet. Betsy worked at Lowell General and volunteered with Conman twice a week for over 20 years. A ray of sunshine wherever she goes. And a fantastic role model for all ages. When Betsy started driving, she was 90, and even that didn't stop her from volunteering. Even though she didn't have a car to drive, she took a bus and still volunteered with a loving and caring heart. It was very sweet.
I was very impressed by the over 5 pages of volunteerism to the community Dracut by Kenneth Kuna. He also served in the military, as did Mr. Varnum, who what his name after.
Right.
And he has many, many years of service, dating back over 30 years. Very impressive.
And it was
I-
very impressive. That was very nice of Sandy to submit that.
I would like to withdraw my name from consideration. This young person who nominated me obviously thought that I served in the Revolutionary War or Congress or something like that, but I thank this young person for nominating me. But the other thing that Ms. Duda does that I think that gets lost is all of the work that she does with the Dracut Scholarship Foundation as well, as far as charitable work, along with writing a historical book about our town and things like that.
Very good people. Of course, we miss John. We see John's name, and we go by the memorial every day. And we certainly miss John Varnum. And in reference to Mr. Buxton, we just talked about DPW's good work, and Mr. Buxton got his name in there, which is wonderful.
Absolutely. Hopefully, how long has he been here? How long has he been here?
He'll be another 30 plus by the time he says he's coming.
Maybe 30 years, I'll get it.
Yeah.
Let's see, how old do you mean?
Yeah.
The Netherlands family got a couple of nominations. They're a wonderful family. They've taken their tragedy and made it a mission for them to be provide money for research for children. Issues. And I think I'm very impressed by that.
Yeah, lots of good. This is a tough decision. I told Rebecca this is going to be a tough one. There's lots of good people in town.
Are we voting on this tonight?
We are.
I'll make a motion for Rebecca Duda.
I'll second.
All right, any further discussion? All right, well, it's definitely important for everyone that was nominated. I just think it was just so sweet that Mr. Marvin's granddaughter, talked about him. And what we're going to do is all before we take a vote, just so everyone knows, everyone that was nominated will get a letter from us thanking them for their nominations and who the nominator was, so they can personally thank that person. These will all be available. Here we'll put those in a booklet that will be available after the selectman's office for people to read, but then on the day that we take the photo up for our winner, we'll certainly have those available for the public to come look at as well. But congratulations to all the nominees and all the folks who took the time to write about the stories for the nominees. I think it was just fascinating. And maybe we can even put them up somehow on the website so people can read about these wonderful people we have in Dracut. I think that would be awesome. Even just the letters, that would be great.
We are fortunate.
We are fortunate. All right, so we have a motion and a second for Rebecca. All right, anything else? Any further discussion? All right, all in favor? Aye. Okay, Rebecca, I know you're going to be embarrassed.
I'd just like to place one vote for Mr. Kenneth Kuna.
Oh, okay, sure, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. All right. All right, so are you in favor of allowing Rebecca the first award? Okay, all right, so unanimous in there. So there we go. And absolutely, I think, everyone that was nominated, just really wonderful people. I just was so impressed by the kids that did this work. Thank you so much. And I know Rebecca's going to be embarrassed. She's the first winner, but maybe that's appropriate given it was kind of her idea and her baby to begin with. So, okay. All right, well, there you go. So that's that, and then we've got, we're going to move on to the opus. Oh, so then